Hi, this is Shekhar from Core Data AI. I would like to talk about a project which would try to predict the health insurance cost of a person based on the person's age, gender, and whether the person is a smoker or not. So this would be the first part of the project. In the second part, that is a different thing, actually, which I would like to try, that I would like to deploy the project or the machine learning model on a platform as a service, because I favor Heroku, so I would do with Heroku app, so that anybody can access your machine learning model through this web link and try to predict or use your machine learning model from anywhere. Okay, so let's start our project.
This project is about predicting insurance cost based on three parameters, which are age, sex, and whether the person is smoker or not. And based on these three parameters, I would try to predict insurance cost. And this I would deploy on a web server on Heroku app. Okay. So let's say how it works. So I predict for a person, let's say his age is 23 and he is a smoker. So if I do that, I get like $27,819 would be the insurance cost for that person annually. And if the same person, if he is a non-smoker, then the insurance cost would be around 4,000 US dollars, which is very obvious it would be less. I have talked in previous project. You guys already are aware of how to clone a GitHub repository. So I would go to the view command palette and I type git clone, and then I provide the link and it should start getting cloned. Before that, I have to select the location, so I just select my desktop as repository location. Okay, so this is basically my data set where I have the information based on which I am predicting the charges, which is basically the insurance cost. So I have not taken all of these parameters. I have taken only age, sex, and whether the person is smoker or not. And I'm trying to create a linear regression model in this project. My first task is to create the model. Okay, so I just go to the model.py. So here what I have done is that I have imported all the necessary libraries and I have read the data file and I have selected only those columns which I am interested in, and I have renamed the column names. So I have changed the charges to insurance amount, which is the variable which we have to predict in this case. It is a better practice to create an IPYNB like IPython notebook and do it there, and once it is done we just copy paste all the code into this model.py to build the final model. Okay, so I would just create a new file, so I call it sample.ipynb, import pickle, because we need to save the model, so we have to import the pickle. Pickle is for saving the machine learning model into our local repository. Okay, so if I execute this and then I read the data, pd.read csv, okay, once it is read, I check that these are the variables which I have, so I just choose only those variables which is interesting or required for the project. So I select age, sex, and smoker and charges. And if I check, the df contains only these four variables. Now we would rename these charges to insurance amount, so we can copy paste these columns. Okay, so yeah, so now if I check, the DM has these columns. Okay, now we would create two variables, x and y. X is basically independent variables. here we are not doing any kind of feature engineering, and we are just creating the linear regression model straight out of the dataset. So I just select X inside df edge. Okay, so X looks like this and Y looks like this. So this is our independent variable and this is our dependent variable. Now we would like to create the model. So before doing that, we have to check what kind of variables we have. So in X, I can see the age is basically numeric. Apart from that, all are factor variables. So if I type x.dtypes, you can see age is in 64 and sex and smoker are object, which are basically factors. So that means that I have to dummify. So x equals to pt get dummies x. If I do that, I should get this dummified column. Sex female 1 means this is female, sex male 0, that is female, and the reverse is basically male. So we have dummified this factor features, which are basically sex and whether the person is smoker or not. So now if I want to create a model, so I would just create from sklearn. Okay, now I have created the object of linear regression class, and now I would apply this regression on our dataset, which is basically X and Y. So if I do that, that means the model has been fit. Okay, so that is how I would create the model. Yeah, so the model has been created, and if I want to save the model, then I will just use this command pickle dot dump regressor, and I'm saving it as a model.pkl in our local. So if I delete the existing model pkl, then if I execute this, it would save this as a model.pkl, if you see. Yeah, okay, so the model has been created. Now we have to test whether it is working or not on a sample test data. So here is the trick, because what we have, the data is like in this format, like age, sex, and whether the person is smoker or not. But we cannot pass this data like it is, because our training data where it has been trained on looks like this. So I have to create my test set as well in this format. So for this reason, I have created this special if-else loops. I would just try to explain what it is. So suppose I get this test data from my web page, okay, because we would be finally deploying it or our web or index.html. So here the input would come as age, sex, and whether the person is smoker or not, but I have to convert it into this format, which is basically this, to get the output from the model. Otherwise the model would not understand. First item is totally fine because it is the age, we do not have to do anything. But when the second item is there, like male, then if the item is male, then I have to append 0, because the second column is sex female. So if it is male, then sex female should be 0 and sex male should be 1. So we append 0 and then append 1. I did else clause, so if it is not male, the other option can only be female, because I have a drop down of male and female. So here I would append 1 first and 0, 1 first and 0 then, the reverse thing. Similar way, whether the person is smoker or not, I have written the logic similar way. Okay, so this is how I would try to predict. So before doing that, I just did every analysis in my IPYNB notebook just to check while we do, and then I copy paste everything and the logic into our final dataset. So this sample IPYNB would be of no use apart from the fact that we just wanted to check. Okay, now if I go to the model py and I execute this one, then I would see it would create the model, save the model, and it will also output the prediction for this data, which is basically we just saw 20 age, male and no. So 20110, this has been internally transferred before passing to the model, and the value is 3146. Okay, we can also check this thing online, like 20 male and the smoker says no, so it should be 3146, which is basically the same. Okay, now the model has been deployed, so the first part is finished of this project. Okay, so now I would like to show you how to create an app and showcase it to the web application format. So before doing that, I have to tell you that we have few requirements. So we have Flask required, because Flask is the web application platform where we would like to deploy. So you can learn more about Flask on internet. And G-Unicorn, this is also HTTP web server for Python. So these two modules, if you have not installed, you have to install these two modules. Now I go to the template. So template means where I have created the format. So this index HTML is basically this HTML format, like header is this one, then I have put an image, then I have created 3 field of input. So this is a text input, this is a drop down, this is drop down. So this has been defined in index.html. okay, so this is very important, that how you want to structure your index HTML. Now the important part is basically the app.py, which is basically deploying the application on our local server. So first I would show you how to deploy it onto our local server, which is basically this one, HTTP localhost port 5000 I have selected, and then I would deploy it on the Heroku app. So if I go to the app.py, so here I have imported all the necessary libraries which are required, and these are the modules which are required from the Flask. And as you can see, I have imported the model pkl.load and open the model pkl, which is present in our local directory. And then I have routed the render templates. I have taken the index.html from this templates folder, and then I have what I'm doing, I am defining the function predict. Predict is something which is written in our request. So this is basically the main function, predict API. I have mapped this predict API to the predict function. Okay, and if I go to the app.py again, so you see that I have method post and /predict. So that's why when you click on predict insurance code, this predict comes, because this is basically what is the function being called while doing the prediction. So in predict function, I have to define the main things, like how I am doing the prediction. So I am taking the item like x for x in request.form values. So whatever values are coming through age, sex and smoker field are getting introduced into the item. And then I am creating a new data, because I want to create in a new format, like I explained to you before. So this is basically the format which I want to pass on to our model. So I am creating with the same logic which I have applied in model.py, just for your illustration purpose, and I am doing the same thing in our app.py before passing the data to our new model. And after doing that, I am just passing model.predict, because model has been loaded here, and I am just doing the model.predict function, and I am outputting this round 0. So this is only taking 1 decimal digit basically, so I can see, or I have to check. So I can also do 2 decimal digit just for standard output. And what I'm doing, I am returning the render template to index.html, and prediction test is what? The insurance cost will be followed by $sign and what I am passing through the output. So I am doing the output. So output is this one. Okay, so that is how I am outputting. So now let's start the app.py. So if I do this one, let's see how it looks like. So it says that it is getting deployed and it would show as a HTTP location which I have to open. So it says that running on this location. So if I control and click, it should get opened. So this is similar to that. So now I do the same thing and predict insurance cost, and you see the insurance cost will be this is coming on here. Okay, now I want to do deployment on Heroku app of the same app. So I just close the terminal or kill it, and what I would do, I would just do the changes. So I just commit the changes which I did right now. So what I would try to do, I would try to deploy on Heroku app. So I will just go to the Heroku. And I would create an account if I do not have already. So I click on new, create new app, and I get predict insurance cost. So I just connect to GitHub to take some time. So it asks me that which repo I want to do. So I just click on Heroku and I connect with that. So it says that whether you want to do automatic deploys or manual deploy. I can choose to manual because I do not want deployment automatically. Okay, because I am not doing real-time project for the time being. So I just deploy the branch, which is basically the master branch of my GitHub, and it says that all of the requirements will be installed. So these requirements or the list of library are coming from this text file, which is basically requirements.txt. Okay, this file and this proc file, this is very important. Proc file says that web unicorn, this is for web framework, basically the Python server HTTP, and this app says that my application is app. So app.py, so it is implementing the app.py file as the app on Heroku server. Okay, from as a service. So this is the full form of PAAS, which supports several programming language and these things, so you can also learn how it works. Okay, and now if I click on view, then I would be able to see. So it gives me the same name of the app as the subdomain of this herokuapp.com URL. So I know what to do. 45, female, smoker no, predict insurance cost 9,900, and if I do with same with female and smoker, yes, it should be 33,000. Okay, this is huge. Okay, so this is all what I wanted to talk about in this project. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any questions, please let me know on the YouTube comments section, and I will try to get back to you with my solution if I have any. Thank you very much, and if you like it, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel.